Welcome back to another episode of Backpacking Latin America, in which two Irish people make their way from Mexico to Brazil over land, whilst trying not to freeze to death. You rejoin us in Bolivia's legal capital, Sucre, where we hadn't really achieved much in terms of tourism, but we definitely enjoyed ourselves. We were currently waiting on a delayed night bus to Uyuni, a city in the southwest of Bolivia, which primarily serves as a gateway for tourists wanting to visit the world's largest salt flats, aptly named the Uyuni Salt Flats. After a free show courtesy of some local stray dogs, our night bus finally decided to show up. We stowed our bags, took our seats, and prayed for the gift of some sleep. It is 20 past 5 in the morning here. We have met a guy with all of our names on a sheet of paper, which is good. It is absolutely Baltic. This feels like winter. Can you see my breath? No. Our groggy selves were chauffeured through the mostly deserted streets of Uyuni and dropped at this cafe with the simple instruction to wait. And wait we did. We've spent the last 3 hours in that cafe. Now I'm going across the road here to the tourist office, where I think we're going to spend the next 2 hours waiting. So he's just after telling us to come back at 10 o'clock. So I think we're going to just wait in the cafe for another 2 hours.
Yeah.
You want me to hold that there?
I'd love that.
It's actually making me really happy. It's 10:30. We have been waiting here for about 5.5 hours now, but by the looks of it, we're about to get going. The weather has warmed up a little bit. It is now 6 degrees Celsius, which isn't too bad, and I think it's due to warm up even more. The bags were impressively packed onto the roof by our driver Elvis, whilst the passengers, made up of myself, Sarah, Olivia, Megan, Jen, and Jason, got comfy in the spacious 4x4. We were about to embark on a 3-day tour of the Salt Flats, which we had booked through our hostel in Sucre. Stop number 1 is this train track that was built in the 1870s during the colonial time. It's actually still in use to this day. And to my right here are abandoned British trains that were used to help transfer minerals that were mined from here to Chile. They were left here abandoned in the 1940s because the mines dried up. And with that, we had officially entered the largest salt flats in the world. Oh yeah. I could be wrong because he's speaking mostly in Spanish and I could have just misunderstood his translation, but millions upon millions of years ago, this land was underneath the Pacific Ocean, and as volcanoes spouted up from the crust, it kind of like pushed the water away and left behind a heap of salt.
Oh my god, it's cool, isn't it?
After unsuccessfully locating an Irish flag amongst this tattered crop, and a quick bit of lunch prepared by Elvis, we set off deeper into the flats to take those standard perspective photos. Little behind the scenes of how one of these perspective shots is taken. Then Jason had an idea.
Right.
This wasn't the first attempt. This wasn't even the 5th attempt. Needless to say, Elvis was probably sick of looking at Jason's arse at this stage, so we hit the road towards the day's final stop. So we have stopped at an island full of cacti. And what's a nice fact about these cacti, Sarah?
So they grow 1 centimeter every year. Cada uno.
Yeah, so 1 centimeter obviously is minuscule. So these lads are old. To actually get onto the island, you have to pay 30 bolivianos, which is almost a $5 each. And we're not really feeling very flahuluk at the minute. So we're going to skirt around the edges and potentially try and sneak on. Down with that sort of thing. We have arrived at our accommodation for night 1. The sun has just about gone down and it's already getting cold, so tonight could be freezing. But look at these rooms, this is really cool. This is our room, and the mad thing is, it's completely made out of salt. All the walls, obviously there's timber on the roof and I'm sure that's just plaster, but the walls are made out of salt. That's unbelievable. I'm not doing that. It's probably dirty.
Okay.
After a surprisingly long and cozy sleep in the salt palace that was our hostel, we were all eager to get going again.
Konnichiwa.
Just casually chilling at the Chile border, right there. Stop number 2 today is a viewpoint of Vulcan Olague there. It's semi-active and it has been spouting, but I just haven't got it on camera yet. That mountain sits directly on the border between Bolivia and Chile. Can you tell I like borders?
I better go because I'm going to get ostracized. I've got 5 Swiss Germans.
Stop number 3 is a lake. I looked it up on maps.me and it's called Smelly Lake. I'm not sure if that's actually accurate, but it's got a load of white stuff in it, which is called borax, and then lots of flies. And then right here we have loads of flamingos. Flies.
Did you just get that on video?
Yeah.
Upon standing here for 5-10 minutes, I realised why it's called Smelly Lake. It absolutely stinks. Appetizingly, it was here, beside the lake, that we had lunch. We got used to the smell. After lunch, we made a couple of short stops, the first of which was a viewpoint of this lake. The second, a place to observe some local viscachas in their natural habitat. Next, we climbed some interesting rock formations. Before visiting the jaw-dropping Laguna Colorada, its reddish pigment caused by red sediments and algae in the water.
Help!
Once again, the cold was starting to set in.
Muy frío.
Muy frío.
So there was only one thing for it. It's getting proper cold now. It's probably like 5:30 in the evening. We have arrived, I think, at our last stop at some geezers. Yes, we're having drinks. Because it's nice. Oh, my lip is in bits.
Where's it coming out of? Where's the hole? That's warm.
We've just arrived at night to accommodation, and by the looks of it, there's no windows or roofs. Here we are, 6 bed. We're all in it together.
We're all in this together. Woo!
Who has got a bottle of whiskey?
Got it.
We've got a jar of farts.
Jar of farts. The perfect 3 words to conclude this video, and sadly, to conclude our time here in Bolivia. What can I say about this incredible country? Our 2 weeks here were a whirlwind of experience, from the serene beauty of the salt flats to the bustling streets of La Paz. We were bewildered and entertained by the Cholitas wrestling. Our hearts raced as we conquered the infamous Death Road, and we shared birthdays in La Paz and Sucre with newfound friends. Bolivia, you've shown us the true essence of exploration, and our spirits are high with excitement for the next chapter of our adventure in Chile, or Chile, depending on how I feel.